And I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed, man, because like it's like the clarity of the message just it's not really there, for people to understand that these people are let me break it down. For slow people. Intergenerational crime families. And they've been murdering and raping and robbing and pillaging you and yours since the beginning. So, like, some people think something didn't happen on September 23rd, but many things happened. Just weren't paying attention. And then we have tomorrow. 10-4, roger that, copy, over and out. See me. Now, there's still too many people walking around on the planet right now. They don't have enough people. I'm going to pull this up here, man, because I've been working on this, like, movie premiere thing for, for the Larken Rose Jones plantation. I've been putting together like this really fantastic episode. There's so many great people were involved, right? But like so many people, man, they just don't understand, right? Like they're not going to do this, man, the way you think they're going to do it. It's going to be like the other thing. Like, I'm not going to wear a mask and I'm not going to participate. I'm not going to take vaccines. I promise you guys, when you see what they're about to do, they're going to be running to get whatever's next. Look, I ain't making this shit up, man. This is what goes on. All right, so let me just bring this up here because I want to play this out for a minute because this is like one of the best videos
all have to give up.
that I have ever seen. Okay, and like you just gotta you gotta understand like the reason why they're not going to do it in a way that you can see it is because of the reality of what it is that will happen next. They can't win. In their minds, like there's absolutely no way that they could win if they do it that way. So it's subtle and you're in agreement with it. And it's like happening all around you with all the different things that are going on. But they're live. They're definitely live, guys. People are dying, right? So let me just go ahead and let's drop me down. Get me the hell out of the way here. Hold on. Where am I? Oh, there I am. I'm real big. Here, let me get me out of the way because I'm not important. Hold on. There it is. All right, you ready? You ready? This is why it's not going to go down. Like you guys are expecting like boom, something, boom. And then like, oh my god. Yeah, it's gonna be like that, it's gonna be a lot of likes that like that though. It's not gonna be like, like this whole like you're dealing with people that have invested so much time and money and effort into this thing, man. Like they're not just gonna they're not just gonna do it in a way where where they're like so obvious about it, right? That everybody's like, oh my god, we're gonna go get them now. We're gonna drag them out in the streets and lynch them now. And this is why. You ready?
A cut of everything you earn.
Hold on. This is why they can't do it that way.
Once upon
I want you to really pay attention here. Okay? This is classes in session, ladies and gentlemen.
a time, there were 100 million people. They had
Thank you,
different
Larken
interests, different beliefs, different occupations, but for the most part, they got along pretty well.
This is how I found Larken Rose's work, by the way. This video. Great video. Great video. Now, I want you to, like the word tax, like I'm going to tell you the way I talk to people when I'm running groups in the psychiatric ward, with people with severe mental health issues. Okay, I'm going to tell it to you that way. You ready? I want you to remove the word tax and remove the word IRS agents in this video. And I want you to replace it with, right? I want you to replace the word tax with everything they present to you. Everything they try to get you to go into agreement with. Whether it's handing your driver's license over when you're pulled over, or paying the sales tax at the register, or taking this, shot, or whatever, whatever it is, right? Take the word tax out of there and insert anything that the government's, supplying you with. The elections, or the vote, or, whatever you think, like presenting this bill. Like whatever you think is going to occur, right? Like, take the word tax out of there, right? And put that in there, whatever that is, right? Whatever the next that is, okay? The mosquito bite, okay? Anything. Put it in there, right? Instead of the word tax, okay? And then when he says the words IRS agent, I want you to replace that with every service that the government offers, like CDC, or FDA, or American Medical Association, or, FBI, or NRO, or CIA, or, any of them. Just insert that in place of the word tax agents, IRS, right? And the word tax, like I said, this is how I talk to people in the psychiatric ward when I talk about the recovery process. Like they think I'm speaking of something specific, like this specific drink, or this specific crack cocaine, or this specific mental health issue, right? They think I'm speaking specifically about something specific, and they are able to exclude themselves from that situation. So take all that away, right? And remember what I said. Replace the word tax when he's talking with anything else, right? And the word IRS agents, replace that with, what did I say, boys and girls? Drop it in the chats. I said with any service that they offer, right? Okay, ready? I'm going to slow it down for you because he talks kind of fast, man. And we got some slow people watching my shit lately. You ready?
Once upon a time, there were 100 million people. They had different interests, different beliefs, different occupations, but for the most part, they got along pretty well. Then one day, a gang of a few hundred people showed up. Need to zoom in some more to see them. I know they're there somewhere. Zoom in. There they are. And this gang of a few hundred said to the throng of 100 million, "From now on, you all have to give us a cut of everything you earn."
This is an accurate graphical comparison between the number of American taxpayers and the number of U.S. congressmen.
And the throng said, gosh, do we have to give you a cut of what we earn? And the gang of a few hundred said, yes, you have to. And the throng said, well, okay, I guess we have to. And one little troublemaker asked, what if we don't? The gang of a few hundred didn't like this and said, if you do not comply, we shall unleash upon you our legions of enforcers. And the throng cried, oh no, please don't. We will comply, we will pay.
This is an accurate graphical comparison between the number of American taxpayers and the total number of IRS employees.
Okay, so I'm going to interrupt it for a minute and just like make sure that we're all on the same page here, okay? Make sure we're all on the same page. We're talking about the number of people that exist inside of the world, right? Imagine that big throng of people. That's what exists, okay? And then that little tiny dot, little tiny dot. Let's back it up so you can see that little tiny dot. See that little tiny dot? That little tiny dot right there, right? That's who's running the show right now. Okay? For dummies. Trying to explain it for dummies. Okay? That's who's running the show right now. As opposed to all those people that exist in the world. You got that little tiny dot that's running the show. Are you with me? You follow me? Okay. And then they bring out their enforcers, right? Which is all the agencies, right? All the government agencies that exist around the world. Not just here in America, but around the world. And they bring out their throng of enforcers. There they are. Look, there they are. Look. Right? Now, what kind of a chance? What kind of snowball's chance in hell do you think this amount of people is going to have any effect over all these people in the world? Not much. Not much. Not much. So, when I'm going to play it out more.
And the throng cried, oh no, please don't. We will comply, we will pay.
This is an accurate graphical
You'll get the shot. You'll get, you'll get the
American taxpayers,
you'll do whatever they say.
The number of IRS employees.
Time went by, and the gang of a few hundred said, now we want more of what you earn. And this kept happening over and over again, until eventually some of the throng were paying almost half of what they earned to the gang. Whenever the gang demanded more, the throng would say, golly, we're already having a tough time. Do we really need to give you even more? And the gang always said, yes, you must, or we shall unleash our legion of enforcers. Now the gang of a few hundred was getting trillions of dollars every year, spending it on wars and pyramid schemes, giving away goodies to their friends, buying influence, and doing lots of other things. And some of the throng started saying, we don't really like the war you're waging with the money we give you. Do we really have to be paying for that? And the gang said, yes, we demand it. Don't make us send out our legion of enforcers. And some of the throng said, you're taking our money and giving it to huge corporations and giant banks. And some people who just don't want to work a lot of these things we don't like. And the gang said, "We don't care. We will decide how to spend it. You just do as you're told, or else." And the throng said, "Okay, I guess we have to." But eventually the throng got so fed up, so angry, that they took a drastic step.
They did things like loot, riot, and overrun the streets in different cities and towns. Remember that? It wasn't too long ago.
One day they...
Oh, and a lot of them swore that they weren't going to put on masks and take jabs and all this other crap, right?
He said to the gang, "We don't like what you're doing. We want a new gang." And after pouring a huge amount of time and money into the effort, they replaced the gang with a new gang. Then the throng...
That is the difference between your two left and right paradigm political systems, guys. Pay attention now.
Pleaded with the new gang. "Now, at long last, can we keep our own money? Or at least keep..."
That's called propaganda. That's called influencing. Okay? Everything you see on the television sets, the movies, the music, the newspapers, the magazines, the products you purchase, basically your sports teams, all that shit. Right there. That's what was going on.
More of it? And the new gang said, "Sorry, but after much discussion, we've decided that you can't. You have to keep..."
Knew this, that, and the third. But continuing on the same journey of enslavement, tyranny, and murder.
"Giving us what you've been giving, in fact, a little bit more than before." The throng was distraught and said, "This is dreadful. But after all, what choice do we have? I mean, they say we must comply."
So I'll take it even like a step further. Like, let's just do a little comparison. You see all the black lines around all the dots of the people in the world, right? All those black lines around the dots. They're the things that they've given you. Them, there, have given you all those things. And you're like totally enthralled as a throng, thinking that those things are absolutely necessary for you to have, like your 5G cell phones and your Wi-Fi router boxes and your electricity and your grocery stores and your retail stores and your medical care and your pharmaceuticals and everything else under the sun that you have in your possession that keeps you totally dependent upon them and totally enslaved within their system. Okay, pay attention now. It's good.
They have that scary legion of enforcers. We're powerless against them. We'd better just do as we're told. So they did as they were told, got poorer and poorer, and lived miserably ever after. But after all, what else could they have done? What power could this...
See what I'm saying? Now pay attention now, because this is the recovery solution coming up in this broadcast. You ready? You ready?
throng possibly have compared to this gang of a few hundred and their enforcers? What chance would this thing have against this thing? How could these 100 million people ever hope to successfully resist the awesome power of this tiny little dot? In case anyone missed this, let's review. Here's them. Here are their enforcers. Here's us. Them. Us. Them. Us. Does anything about this seem just a little strange to you? Are you perhaps wondering, why does the throng need the permission of the dot to do anything? Why do these people feel the need to ask this tiny little dot if they can keep more of what they earn? Why would they spend year after year literally begging for lower taxes from this little dot? Is this dot just really darn intimidating? Is it very persuasive in its reasoning? To be blunt, why would this throng give a rodent's backside what this tiny little dot wanted? The fact that this tiny dot has the gall to issue such demands to such a throng is pretty startling in and of itself. But what is far more amazing is that the throng obeys this minuscule little parasitic gang of control freaks. What could possibly explain this? Let's ask the dot. This is how it works. When we, the dot, take your money and spend it on things you don't like, we're representing you. In fact, though you're not allowed to actually keep your own money, you're allowed to decide which little dot will steal half of what you earn. So that really means that you're in charge and that you're agreeing to give us your money. In fact, we, the dot, are serving you when we take your money and spend it on things you don't like. And so you should thank us and treat us with great respect and honor for having robbed you on your behalf for your own good in order to serve you by doing things you don't want us to do.
Okay, so I'm going to stop it here. We're going to be done with this. But I just, I'm trying to make a point here, guys. Their attacks are not going to be boom. There's going to be booms. Don't get it fucked up. Don't get it fucked up. There's going to be booms. But there isn't... They're not going to... It's not going to be It's not like they're going to be the front... Here. It's not going to look like this. This is what everybody's expecting. It's not going to look like this, guys. Everybody thinks it's going to look like this. I mean, everybody thinks it's going to look like this. Hold on. Let me show you. Right? Boom, boom, boom. Everybody thinks it's going to look like this. Right? Everybody thinks it's going to look like this somehow. If you think it's going to look like this... If you think it's going to look like this, you're a fucking moron. Okay? First and foremost. It's never going to look like that. But as far as like the 10-4 thing goes, right? 10-4 Roger out, copy that. Right? Like there's a lot of speculation in the alternative medias about what that is going to actually be. Okay? Now my suggestion is exactly what it's always been. Right? Because I've been like talking about it, but like, you know, hinting around at it a little bit, right? And like, you know, like they're in it for the long game, guys. This is the long game. The long game. They've been doing this for a long time. Does anybody not understand? What's the date here? What is the date? And it goes back further than that. It goes all the way back to Atlantis. It goes all the way back to the Egyptians. Talking tens of thousands of years they've been running this shit. And like you still think that it's going to be like, you still think it's going to look like this. I don't know how to explain it any different than that. Right? You think it's going to look like this. It's not going to look like that. If it looks like that, the throng is going to take out the dot. Do you understand? Is anybody, like, if you could fucking understand what I'm saying, drop it in the chat, man. It's not going to look like this. This isn't how it works.